Brakatin Yahweh, Brakatin Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukakadash. Queens to Hope for Lake, and Kwam Jasharala. Alright, let's continue with our Job. We're gonna finish the book of Job, and we're gonna we're gonna go where we left off. So now let's go chapter 28. It says, "Where wisdom is found, surely there is a mine for silver, and a place for gold to be refined. Iron is taken out of the earth, and copper smelt from Ori. Miners put an end to darkness, and search out to the farthest bound. The Ori in gloom and in deep darkness, they open shafts in the valley away from human habitation. They are forgotten by travelers, they sway suspended, remote from people. As for the earth, out of it comes bread, but underneath it is burned up as if by fire." Yeah, that core, see, Prophet John knew that the earth's core is, where, where the idol, lies, Its stones are the place of sapphire, and its dust contains gold. Yeah, see? And that path no bird of prey knows, the falcon's eye has not seen. The proud wild animals have not thwarted it. The lion has not passed over it. They put their hand to the flinty rock and overturn mountains by the root. They cut out channels in the rock, and their eyes see every precious thing. The source of the rivers they probe. Hidden things they bring to light. But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Mortals do not know the way it is, and it is not found in the land of the living. The deep says, "It is not in me." The sea says, "It is not in me." It cannot be gotten for gold, and silver cannot be weighed out as its price. It cannot be valued in the gold of Ophir, in precious onyx or sapphire. Gold and glass cannot equal it, nor can it be exchanged for jewels of the gold. No mention shall be made of it in corals or of crystal. The price of wisdom is above pearls. The crystallites of Ethiopia cannot compare it, nor can it be valued in pure gold. Where then does wisdom come from, and where is the place of understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all living, and concealed from the birds of the air. Abaddon and Death say, "We have heard a rumor of it with our ears." Yeah, Abaddon is, the son, the angel of the bottomless pit. Yahweh Elohim understands the way to it, and he knows his place. For he looks to the ends of the earth and sees everything under the heavens. When he gave to the wind its weight and apportions out the waters by measure, he made a decree for the rain and a way for the thunderbolt. Then he saw it and declared it. He established it and searched it out. And he said to humankind, "Truly the fear of the Most High that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding." Okay, basically, is that, you could be rich, you could search for gold and everything, sell yourself out, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't make you wise, you know what I'm saying? And wisdom, like he said, is to fear the Most High, and and smart is to understand it, you know what I'm saying? To depart from evil, you know what I'm saying? That's what it means. That, you could be good or you could be bad to the eyes of the world, man. But you might not. That doesn't make you righteous. Righteous makes you to have wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the Most High, and to abide. Now, chapter 29. Job finishes his defense. Job again took up his discourse and said, "Oh, that I were as in the months of old, as in the days when the Most High watched over me, when his lamp shone over my head, and his light, and by his light I walked through darkness. When I was in my prime, when the friendship of the Most High was upon my tent, when the Almighty was still with me, when my children were around me, when my steps were washed with milk, and the rock poured out for me streams of oil. Then I went out to the gate of the city. When I took my seat in the square, the young men saw me and withdrew, and the aged rose up and stood. The noble refrained from talking, and they laid their hands on their mouths. The voices of prince was hushed, and their tongue stuck to the roof of their mouth. Then the ear heard it, commended me, and when the eye saw it, it approved, because I delivered the poor who cried, and the orphan who had no helper. The blessing of the wretched came upon me, and that caused the widow's heart to sing in joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. I'm gonna read it on and recap it. My justice was like a robe and a turban. I was eyes to the blind and feet to the lame. I was a father to the needy, and I championed the cause of the stranger. I broke the fangs of the unrighteous and made them drop their praise from their teeth. Then I thought I should die in my nest, and I should multiply my days like the phoenix. My roots spread out to the waters, with the dew all night on my branches. My glory was fresh with me, and my bow ever new in my hand. They listened to me and waited, and kept silence for my counsel. After I spoke, they did not hear me speak again, and my words dropped up. My word dropped upon them like dew. They waited for me as for the rain. They opened their mouth as for the spring rain. I smiled on them when they had no confidence. In the light of my countenance they did not distinguish. I chose their ways and sat as chief, and I lived like a king amongst his troops, like the one who comforts mourners. Okay, he's basically remembering, saying he's wishing to go back to when Israel, Yasharallah was blessed, when he gave us the pastures of the land, when when people abide by the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, when we were blessed, top of all the nations, and a role model example to all the nations. That's what he's talking about, and it won't happen again, but this time for keeps. But now, he says, chapter 30, they make sport of me, those who are younger than I, whose father I would have disdained to set my dogs off my flock. Talking about the Edomites, because see, in the days of King David and King Solomon, that was the epics, the prime of Israel. See, and King David used to punk the Edomites and have them like straight away. They would never be around us because they're demons. And what could I have gained from from the strength of their hands? Yeah, what can you gain by being how the Edomites are? All their vigor is gone through though through what I through want and hard hunger they now the dry and desolate ground. Yeah, they just like locusts, they just devour, eat, destroy things, man, and they never like quench their hunger. They pick mallows and the leaves of bushes and to warm themselves the roots of broom. They are driven out from society. People shout after them as after a thief. Yeah, everybody knows that when they come to your land, it's a matter of time before they jack you, and then you regret it and you want them out of there. The world despises these wicked demons, and the guiltless of the weightiest they must live. In holes in the ground and in the rocks, amongst the bushes they bray, under the nettles they huddle together. A senseless, disreputable brood, they have been wiped out of the land. That's why they were in the Caucasus Mountain in the cavemen for a while, because all the nations knew that they were just no good demons. And now they mock me in song. I am a byword to them. They abhor me. They keep aloof from me. They do not hesitate spit at the sight of me, because the Most High has loosened my nostrils and humbled me. They have cast off restraint in my presence. On my right hand, the rabble rises up. they they sing. They send me sprawling and build roads for my ruin. They break up my path. They promote my calamity, and no one restrains them. As through a wide breach they come, and amid the crash they roll on. Terrors are turned upon me. My honor is pursued as by a wind, and my prosperity has passed away like a cloud. And now my soul is poured out within me. Days of affliction have taken hold of me. My knife cracks my bones, and the pain that knocks me takes me no rest. With violence he seizes me. He seizes my garments. He grasps me by the collar of my tunic. He has cast me into the mirror, and I have become like a dust and ashes. I cry to you, and you do not answer me. I stand, and you merely look at me. You have turned cruel to me. With the might of your hand, you persecute me. You lift me up on the wind. You make me ride on it, and you toss me about it in the roar of a storm. I know that you will bring me to death, and to the house appointed for all living. Surely one does not turn against the needy. When in disaster they cry for help. Did I not weep for those whose days was hard? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? But when I looked for good, evil came, and when I waited for light, darkness came. My inward parts are in turmoil and are never still. Days of affliction come meet me. I go about in sunless gloom. I stand up in the assembly and cry for help. I am a brother of jackals. Yeah, because, I'm a recapture, man. And I complain of ostriches. My skin turns black and falls from me, and my bones turn burned with heat. My lyrics turn to mountain mourning, and my pipe to the voice of those who weep. Basically, he's talking about how in our condition that we are now, man, that we've been turned over to the wicked, and we follow the wicked ways, which does it lead us to destruction. Whatever way, when you think it's good, bad shit happens to you. And when bad shit happens to you, good shit happens to you, but it's masqueraded by being still on the knowledge of good and evil. That's what he's talking about. No good comes out of this way. And he says too that, that he's a brother of jackals. Yeah, because, 2/3 of our people are fucking idiots, jackals, and a companion of ostriches. Yeah, because they're women. Not all of them, but the majority are out of order, like ostriches. They kill their children, bad mothers. And it says here that our skin is black because, when they label you black or certain category, that's a stigma on you, man. Like, like falling. I hope you understand that. Now, chapter 31. I have made a covenant with my eyes. How then could I look upon a virgin? Yeah, basically, if you fall into the ways and you like this, your high desires this ways. You know what I'm saying? what will be my portion from the Most High above, and my heritage from the Almighty on high? Does not calamity befall the unrighteous, and disaster the workers of iniquity? Does he not see my ways and number all my steps? If I have walked with falsehood, and my foot has hurried to deceit, let me be weighed in a just balance, and let Yahweh Elohim know my integrity. If my steps has turned aside from the way, and my heart has followed my eyes, and if any spot has come to my hands, then let me sow another eat, and let what grows from me be rooted out. If my heart has been enticed by a woman, and I have laid in my weight at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind for another, and let other men kneel over her. For what would be a heinous crime, that would be a criminal offense, for that would be a fire consuming down to Abaddon, and it will burn to the roads of my harvest. Basically, if you haven't fully turned away, you know what I'm saying, and you still continue to yearn to do wicked shit, or you're not fully like invested, then eventually, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get spit out, and you're gonna be consumed down to Abaddon. You're gonna go to hell with the rest of these demons. That's what it's saying, in the time of my harvest, you know what I'm saying, which is close now, you know what I'm saying. So you better really clean your garment fast. If I have rejected the cause of my male or female slaves, when they brought a complaint against me, what then shall I do when the Most High rises up? When he makes inquiry, what shall I answer? Did not he make me in the womb make them, and did not one fashion us in the womb? If I have withheld anything that the poor desire, basically you're lazy and you haven't done this work that you've been called on, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fall, or have eaten my morsel alone and the orphan has not eaten from it, basically, you found some knowledge or something, you just want to keep it to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Or have eaten my morsel alone, and the orphan has not eaten from it, or from my youth I reared the orphan like a father, and from my mother's womb I guided the widow. If I have seen anyone perish for lack of clothing, or a poor person without covering, whose loins have not been blessed, whose loins not blessed me, and who was not warm with me, the fierce of my sheep. If I have raised my hand against the orphan, because I saw I had reported at the gate, then let my shoulder blade fall from my hand. Basically, if you think you're almighty, all haughty, you know what I'm saying, and you don't want to, you don't want to reach out to your brothers, or if you see someone needs help and you just don't want to do it, you know what I'm saying, that's what it is, self-arrogance. For I was in terror of calamity from the Most High, and I could not have faced His majesty. If I have made gold my trust, or called fine gold my confidence, basically sell out, Pastor Coon type. If I have rejoiced because my wealth was great, or because my hand had gotten much, if I have looked at the sun when it shone, or the moon moving in splendor, basically if you sun worship, or you've been, or moon, if you've been like, a Christian, like Catholic, or a Muslim, or any other worldly religion, which comes back to sun, moon, and star worshiping, and my heart has been secretly enticed, and my mouth has kissed my hand, this also will be iniquity to be punished by the Most High. I'm saying the judge, for I should have been false to Yahweh Elohim above. Yeah, basically you've been fake, you've been false, you've been saying one thing and doing something else. If I have rejoiced at the ruins of those who hated me, or exalted when evil overtook them, I have not let my mouth sin, by asking for their lives with a cause. If those of my tent never said, "Oh, that we might be seated with his flesh," the stranger has not lounged in the street, I have opened my door to the traveler. If I have concealed my transgressions as others do, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom, basically, you know what I'm saying, showing a front to the world and doing wicked shit, closed doors, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom, because I stood in great fear of the multitudes, and the contempt of families terrified me, so that I kept silence and did not go out of the doors, or that I had one to hear me. Here is my signature, let the Almighty answer me. All that I had the indictment written by an adversary, surely I will carry it on my shoulder. I will bind it on me like a crown. I will give him an account of all my steps. Like a prince, I will approach him. If my land has cried out against me, and its furs have wept together, if I have eaten its yield without payment, and caused the death of its owners, let thorns grow instead of wheat, and foul weeds instead of barley. The words of Job are ended. Okay, so basically, Job say, if he's found unfit, to let him be cursed, you know what I'm saying? Basically he said a lot of things, but the thing to get out of this is that, you know what I'm saying, be 100%, you know what I'm saying, for this cause, don't be fake, because you could lie to man, you could even lie to yourself, but you can't lie to the Most High, man, because he sees everything that you do. So, you better stay on point, better be ready, better be sure this is what you want, man. And I know, glorify be Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.